All right, when you pick up a new language, you expect some curveballs, right? New words, maybe some quirky sentence structures. But what if a language actually counts things differently? I mean, at a fundamental grammatical level. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into with Arabic today. It's got this amazing feature that goes way beyond the simple singular and plural that you'd see in English or Urdu. It's a whole different way of thinking about numbers. So check this out. In English or Urdu, it's pretty simple, right? You've got one thing, that's singular. You have two or more things, that's plural. Easy. But Arabic throws in this incredible middle category. It has a specific dedicated grammatical form for when there are exactly two of something. This is called the dual, and honestly, it gives the language a kind of precision that most of us just aren't used to. Okay, so here's the game plan for today. First, we'll get a handle on Arabic's three numbers. Then, we'll look at how to create that special dual form. After that, we'll tackle plurals, both the regular sound ones and the tricky broken ones. Then, we're going to put it all together and see how a single noun can have, believe it or not, 18 different forms. And finally, we'll talk about why any of this grammar actually matters. Let's get into it. All right, first up, Arabic's three numbers. This is really the foundation for everything we're going to talk about today. So in Arabic, Wahid means singular. It's just for one, pretty standard. Jama is the plural, but, and this is the big difference, it's for three or more. So what about two? Well, that's where Muthanna, the dual, comes in. It's exclusively for exactly two. And you've got to understand, this isn't just a different word. It's a whole grammatical system built right into the core of the language. Okay, section 2, creating the dual or muthanna. So how do you actually make this thing? Well, it's all about transforming the noun. The magic is all in the ending, in the suffix you add. But you have to know which suffix to use, and that depends entirely on the noun's job in the sentence, what we call its grammatical case. So if the noun is the one doing the action, the subject, it's in a case called raf. But if it's having the action done to it, or it's part of a prepositional phrase, it'll be in one of two other cases, nasb or jar. Let's make this real. Take the word muslimun. Let's say you want to talk about two Muslims, and they are the subject of your sentence. That's the rough case, remember? You just tack on the suffix ani, and boom, you get muslimani. Now, for pretty much any other situation, the nasb or jar cases, you use the other ending, aini. So it becomes muslimaini. It's so systematic, it's actually beautiful. So just think about how much work those little endings are doing. That tiny suffix, that ani or aine, tells you two huge things right away. One, the noun is dual, meaning there are exactly two of them. And two, you know its grammatical case, its job in the sentence. That is some serious efficiency. All right, next up, let's talk about plurals. This is section 3, sound plurals, or Jama Salim. And remember, plurals in Arabic are for three or more. These are the rule-based ones, the predictable ones. They're called sound because the original singular word stays sound. It doesn't break. Now, with the dual form, the rule was the same for both genders. Not here. For sound plurals, the road splits. We've got one set of rules for masculine nouns and a totally different set for feminine nouns. So for the masculine plurals, it works just like the dual, but with different endings. If the noun's in the raf case, you add una. So our Muslim becomes muslimuna. For the other cases, nasb and jar, you add ina, so it becomes muslimina. Simple as that. And now for the feminine plurals. The logic is exactly the same, it's just the sounds that change. So a feminine singular noun like muslimatun will get the ending atun in the rafa case, making it muslimatun. And for the nasb or jar cases, it gets atin. See? The system is totally consistent. Okay. This is where it gets really wild. The plural suffixes are even more powerful than the dual ones. With just one tiny ending, like una or atan, you now know three pieces of information. You know the number is plural, you know the case, and you know the gender. All of that is packed into one little suffix. It's incredibly information dense. Okay, section 4, broken plurals. Look, if everything in Arabic was that simple, well, it wouldn't be as much fun, would it? Now we have to talk about the exceptions to the rule, the Jama Mukasar, literally the broken plurals. So what happens when a noun is a bit of a rebel? You know, when it doesn't want to just politely add a suffix to its end. What happens when the word itself just breaks? Honestly, the easiest way to get your head around this is to think about English. We have these too. We don't say one mouse, two mouses. We say mice. The word itself changes. Same thing with tooth and teeth. That's exactly what a broken plural is in Arabic. The internal structure of the word rearranges itself to become plural. So take the word for book, which is kitabun. You might expect it to follow the rules, but it doesn't. Instead, it becomes kutub. See how the vowels shifted inside? Or masjidun for mosque becomes masajid. There's no simple suffix here. The word itself is transformed. And yeah, there's no shortcut for these. You pretty much have to learn them one by one, usually with a dictionary. Okay, time to put it all together in section 5. We've talked singular, dual, and plural. We've talked masculine and feminine. We've talked 3 different cases. Let's see what happens when you mash all of that together. You get this. 18. That's right. When you combine gender, the 3 numbers, and the 3 cases, a single noun that refers to a person can have up to 18 different forms. It's kind of mind-blowing. And here is the whole system in one place. Just look at this table. You've got the 9 masculine forms on top. Singular, dual, plural, each in their 3 cases. And then right below that, the 9 feminine forms. Every single one of these variations tells you something super specific about the noun's gender, its number, and its job in the sentence. It's the whole shebang, right there. Oh, and a quick little side note, what about things, not people? For inanimate objects or non-real nouns, it's a little less complicated. A word like kitabun, a book, has a fixed gender, so you're not going to have a separate feminine version. That means you only have to worry about 9 possible forms for it. See? Simpler. All right, final section. Why does any of this grammar actually matter? We've gone through a ton of rules, but I promise this isn't just some abstract grammar lesson. This is about actually understanding the language. And here's the bottom line. Mastering these forms isn't optional. It's absolutely fundamental to reading Arabic. See, in Arabic, a lot of the meaning, like who is doing something to whom, isn't always clear from the word order, like it is in English. Instead, all that information is coded into these tiny little endings on the nouns. If you can read the endings, you can unlock the meaning of the whole sentence. So that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. When a language has a specific required grammatical tool just for to-ness, or can cram that much data into a tiny suffix, how does that change how you see things? How does the very grammar of a language end up shaping the way its speakers experience the world? Something to think about.